Lillee returned to Test cricket for the home series against England in 1974-75. Lillee's pace partnership with the blindingly fast Jeff Thomson destroyed the Englishman.
He came back after a serious stress fracture, and what I particularly remember is the sheer shock of the opposition at thinking they were going to play a slightly weakened Australian fast attack and finding themselves running into a revived Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thomson, of course, just coming into his brief prime. And it's never been more ferocious than it was when those two were playing.
Lillee and Thomson, at their peak, you could probably hardly imagine anything more destructive. I mean, 74-5, when we got them, Tomo was at his youngest and fastest, and Lillee was just beginning to be experienced and accurate, and there wouldn't be many. I mean, people talk about the recent Australian team, was it the finest ever? And I must say, not many of any team would have done that well against Lillee and Thomson.
Dennis Lillee to Peter Bartlett.
Dennis Lillee approaching the wicket really is poetry in motion.
Bowl him!
Everything that's been written since then, I think, focuses on the Dennis Lillee approach, that gathering momentum, pick yourself up, and then the rock back and side on in position and let it go, whereas Jeff Thomson just picked up the ball, went out and bowled like a gorilla at a million mile an hour. It was just awesome, the contrast between the two physiques and the two approaches.
Dennis was, number one, firstly, super quick, rapid, and then he had the injury, and then he realised he was a smart thinking fast bowler, which is rare because fast bowlers don't have brains, so I like to think, but he did, and he was smart. Then he realised, well, I can't beat him with sheer pace, I'll just bowl a couple of leg cutters or set him up some other way. Tremendously fit, wouldn't take a backward step, win at all cost attitude. Good enough to be Victorian, Dennis Lillee.
The 1975-76 home series against the West Indies was advertised as the heavyweight battle of the fast men. It was in this era of great pace bowling that Lillee established his reputation as the greatest.
I still use Dennis Lillee as the example of the best I've faced. Now that takes some doing, because if you look back through my career, you've got people like Lillee, Thomson, admittedly after he'd lost some of his power after the shoulder injury. All those West Indians, the Garners, the Marshalls, the Roberts, the Crofts, the Holdings, in any order, they're all fine bowlers. Richard Hadley, another fine bowler. And yet, I still put Dennis right up there.
One thing about Dennis, if he had the new ball or the old ball, if it was 11:30 or it was 5:30, he was still running in trying different things. He never gave up. If things were in his favour, yes, he tried even harder. If it wasn't, he was out there giving his best. He was one of the greatest bowlers, if not the greatest I've known.
The 1977 centenary test at the Melbourne Cricket Ground was punctuated by a number of remarkable performances, but none was more remarkable than Dennis Lillee's 11-wicket haul.
In the centenary test, March 1977, Derek Randall got the Man of the Match award for his 174, but Lillee should have got it, because after the remarkably low-scoring first innings, the wicket went very flat indeed, and he bowled quite superbly in that match.
I would say that the bloke who won that test match was actually was the fact that Dennis just kept bowling those long spells on what I wouldn't have called a responsive wicket for fast bowling, and yet he performed magnificently.
Like many players of the era, Lillee saw World Series cricket as a positive experience for the game as a whole.
Lillee would say that the modern players owe a great deal to the World Series cricket players, and the ones who pulled out of official cricket to take part in that particular brand of the game. Before World Series cricket came along, the players were very poorly paid. Most of them were amateurs or at least semi-professional, and they had jobs which they were holding down, even though the game was generating an enormous amount of interest and indeed revenue. That mix turned around a little bit when World Series cricket came on board, because the players finally were able to justify what they were worth.
The The last 5 years of Dennis Lillee's international career were marked by superb performances, along with the occasional controversial incident. In the 1979-80 series against England, he promoted a new aluminium bat and took 11 wickets on a flat track in Melbourne.
And we're talking about a flat batting wicket, basically one of those wickets that not that easy to score runs on, but difficult to take wickets on. And Dennis just was able to produce incredible spells. So instead of just bowling what I'd call seam up, traditional fast bowler's arm where he hit the seam and move that way, he started to then work on this delivery where he ripped his hand across the seam. And he had this just incredible ability to do that and still maintain his accuracy.
No other seamer could get the ball above the stumps. Dennis bowled England out again with a mixture of leg cutters, slower balls, and the most incredible accuracy you've ever seen. So Melbourne seemed to bring out the best of DK.